Hello Internet, this is Sierra, and this is my third Q&A that I'm doing from questions I received from Tumblr. I'm going to make this as quick and pain-free as possible so you can possibly sit through the whole thing. So I'm just going to start with the first question I got since I announced I was doing this, and then we'll just keep going. Okay, first question from Anonymous. Do you worry that later in life having so many nude photos of yourself floating around will make it hard to get work? Like average folk non-model work, I mean. How much consideration did you put into posing for nudes when you first started modeling? P.S. Your nudes are lovely. I don't want to seem judgy. I'm just curious. No worries. Okay, so I put a lot of thought into it before I did it. Because my first professional shoot was nude. And I understood that doing it would mean that there were probably jobs out there that I couldn't do after the fact. I assume now I can't run for public office. I assume I won't be a grade school teacher. There are things that I definitely will consider that are cut out of my options from now on, but that's okay. There's still a lot of options out there, and I thought that it was worth it. So it may change the direction I was thinking of going after I'm done modeling, but I still have a lot of options, and I'm still glad that I did it. I definitely don't think nude modeling is for everyone, but I think if it's something you're comfortable with, and and your life goals aren't one of those things that would limit you from doing that it can be a great thing to do. Okay, so that's sort of an answer. Next question. How did you become a model? And did or do you have any glaring insecurities? And if so, how did you manage to get over them and be confident enough to bear yourself in front of the camera? So I answered this a little bit before, but my sister and I would take photos of each other because we both liked being on the other end of the camera. We both liked photographing. And I would take film photos and she would take digital photos. And we would use each other as models and do our own styling and stuff. And then when I moved away from home, someone saw the photos and said that I should put them up on a website or something to see if I could get model work. And I skeptically did a Google search, found Model Mayhem, put up a profile, and I started getting paid offers within the week. And so I just started modeling, and when I was in Seattle, I just ended up not getting a different job because I was supporting myself modeling. In terms of the insecurities part, that is definitely something that affects me and I think affects everyone. When I first started modeling, it was like the skinniest I've ever been in my life. Like I'd actually been really sick. And so I was like, I looked fine, but I was like unhealthy for me. And so the weight wasn't an issue when I started modeling, but it started to become an issue for me when I started regaining some of my natural weight. But it's something that, well, I quit modeling for like 3 months one summer after I started because I was so stressed out. I would get stressed out about my weight or if I was bloated or anything. I would like panic and like want to cancel a shoot. Like I would get a zit and just like freak out and like not want to show up. So I'm sure I actually did cancel some shoots, but mostly like even if I showed up, I thought about canceling the shoot because I was just stressing about everything. So I totally quit. I just started babysitting for like the summer, and when I came back to modeling in the fall, I basically decided that like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it no matter what I look like. Like I'm going to do my best to like maintain and be good at this, but that it's going to be me. Like it's not going to be me trying to be a model, that it's going to be me. And I try to make it really clear to anyone that might hire me, like, yeah, my weight fluctuates. Like, yeah, like this is what I look like. Here's photos of me without makeup. Like I'm not perfect. And I think that that is really liberating. And if I didn't make that something for myself when I came back to it, I probably wouldn't be modeling anymore, because otherwise it's just too stressful to try to be perfect when you're just a person. Okay, next question. A few years ago, I started dyeing my hair red. I have essentially the same haircut and color as you do. And I still can't find a flattering lipstick color. I'm pale and it's hard to find colors that doesn't look absolutely jarring. Any suggestions? Pinks, reds, thanks in advance. Love your work, you're gorgeous. This is a prevalent question. It's definitely prevalent for pale people, but it's extra prevalent for redheads. And the type of red you have will really affect the lipstick that works. I'm orangish red. I mean, it looks kind of dull on camera right now, but so does this crazy colored shit. It looks dull right now. But since I have orange toned reds right now, and naturally have orange toned reds, you have to use orange toned reds for your lip color. I grabbed a few examples. The thing I'm wearing right now is just like what I wear casually, like in winter. This is just a sample. I make samples last forever of Black Honey by Clinique, and it looks like totally black, but it's like really sheer. So this is something that's like the darkest I feel like I can get away with on an everyday level. But in terms of bright red, which I think is the hardest to find, I finally found a red that works for red hair and pale skin, and my favorite, it's by Sephora. It doesn't have an actual name. I think this one is RO4. But this one is great for me. So, and go to Sephora and just sample lip colors, but you're probably gonna want orange tone red, because the ones I was buying and like thinking were reds, were like bright reds, were too purple toned, which looks really, really weird. In terms of department store, I use this sometimes as a gloss over that. This is Revlon or something, new 8 Hour, and it's in Red Fatale. So this is like, you know, just like a gloss, but it's also like that red. This is way less purple than most of the ones I found. So those are things I found. Hooray, okay. Moving on. Do you find having posed for nudes changes how romantic relationships work for you at all? Has it ever been a problem in the past? And what about in terms of making friends? Legitimate question. I actually haven't had it be very much of an issue. Every once in a while it will come up in a relationship, a little bit. But mostly now, especially when I meet people now or in the past like 2 years, they know I'm a model before they even meet me. Like they're friends with a friend or they've seen my work online or something. So it's like they know what they're getting. So it hasn't really been a huge issue for me. In terms of friendship, it's actually possibly been a little more of an issue for me. Not necessarily just the nude aspect, but I definitely had friends when I was transitioning into modeling that didn't think it was either worth my time or thought that it was cheap in some way or just didn't really respect it. But, I mean, I think that's an understandable place to come from in a lot of ways too, but I feel like I've worked through most of that stuff, and even the people that were kind of weird about it when I started are pretty supportive now, and most everyone that I've either dated or I'm friends with has been extremely supportive, so that's been great. Okay, what brand and shade of hair dye do you use, and do you dye it yourself? Thanks. I usually dye it myself. For some modeling stuff, they'll dye your hair for you, but it still stays about the same shade. When I do dye it myself, or have help, because my hair is really long now, the box dye I use is Faria, and I think it's in Copper Shimmer. It's one of the colors that not all the stores carry, so I have to hunt around a little bit sometimes now. Or you can buy it online. Okay. Do models get laid more often than everyday people? I'm sure that is a huge range of answers. I definitely have a lot of opportunities to get laid. But I also know models, especially like agency standard like models that are like, have had like one boyfriend in their whole life, and it's more of a personality thing than anything. It's not, I don't know. I can only answer for myself, and for me, maybe. What is something that has inspired you? It's a little vague. This is from Evening Master. Evening Master. Something that's inspired me. I don't know if this means aesthetically or like in terms of motivation. In terms of motivation, what I always go to is like, you know that Mulan song, We Are Men? Sometimes when I'm feeling lazy and not wanting to do anything, I will bring up the YouTube video of that, and then I'll feel inspired and ready to go. In terms of aesthetics, I go through phases. I'm really interested in like, you know, vintage like pinup sort of look, like Betty Page. But I also like am really inspired by the antithesis of that too, in terms of like totally natural, no makeup, natural light, no editing. Like a lot of the shots I've been posting lately of me are unedited because I just really like the reality of that. And then I'm also really inspired by like, you know, runway fashion, which is kind of hard with having a body shape like mine because I feel like vintage plays really well to my body shape. And so it's interesting to see like new trends and things and how I can work with those with my silhouette, because I feel like a lot of that doesn't play to people like me. But I still find some of those things very inspiring. Okay, next question. Do you ever feel like a stripper? Only if I'm actively stripping, but I also feel like strippers have to, there's a whole aspect of stripping that I'd probably be very bad at, in terms of you're doing it to like please someone else, and I pretty much sit within my comfort zone of where like I think my modeling lies versus like things that are like more sexual than what I do. But I also wouldn't say that what I do is like higher and mightier than stripping in any way. But I just think that what I'm doing has like a different purpose. What I'm doing, like even if it does turn someone on or something, like that wasn't my goal in making it most of the time. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I'm trying to make things that are interesting, and I try to bring, you know, like an aesthetic appeal as opposed to like just like a raw sexual appeal for someone else's pleasure so that they'll give me money. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Next question. This is, I have no idea how to pronounce this username, Lynchian Bedhead. They asked how I got into modeling, which I already answered, and an interesting story about a memorable shoot or a terrible shoot. So for the memorable / terrible shoot, there was one shoot where I laid in poison ivy. Like I'm very like gung-ho, like when I'm out like modeling and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, I'll climb on that, like yeah, whatever, I'll, you know, lay backwards off those stairs. And they asked me just to like lay in the grass, and I laid in the grass. And like 2 hours later, or like an hour later, like as I was getting home, I had like huge welts all over my back. From like poison oak or poison ivy, which I like hadn't noticed. And so now I'm a little more careful, especially in outdoor shoots, and I'm a little less adventurous because of the pain that was. But okay. Another question. What's your favorite lipstick in color and any beauty secrets you use? I already did the lipstick one mostly. In terms of beauty secrets, oh my god, I probably should have thought of this before I started answering. I don't know. I mean, I do salt scrubs or sugar scrubs sometimes. What else do I do? I don't feel like I mean, I try to drink a lot of water, and I don't always succeed. And I'll do like oil treatments for the ends of my hair, even though I still need to like cut the ends of my hair because it's getting really bad. I fill in my brows. That's not a beauty secret. But yeah, I also like watch a lot of like YouTube tutorials for like makeup and hair when there's something I want to do that I don't know how to do. Yeah. I've also thought about doing a video that's makeup, how to do your makeup on the bus, because that's something that I do a lot. And I probably get judged for on the bus, but it saves a lot of time when I'm on my shoots if I do my base on the bus. So maybe someday eventually I'll do a 5-minute how to do your makeup on the bus tutorial. Okay, how do you maintain your figure? This one I find kind of funny because I'm definitely like on the outer range of myself for my figure in terms of weight right now. So, because I'm not stressing about it. So I'm not doing a lot right now. I try to eat well. I try not to eat like too much red meat or too many deep fried things or too much really bad dairy. I also have a lot of allergies that I avoid in terms of like bloating. Wow, this is hot stuff. Okay, but yeah, like I don't do a lot. Over Christmas I was really good about like running and I did like Zumba with my sister and stuff. But I might want to start doing like Pilates or something again because I like to have like some abs under my squish. I have some abs, but like more abs than this. Okay, favorite undergarment stores / brands. American Apparel, obviously, because I wear their stuff all the time. And I just got a new set from them. Actually, that photo will probably have just been posted from my queue as I'm doing this. But yeah, I like American Apparel, obviously. I like bralettes and like unstructured bras a lot. But also, I'm really, really into what Katie did, which does vintage style stuff. Like my bullet bra was from them, some of my garters. I would really like to get their like gloves and more of their back seam tights. And like for any of that stuff, I love what Katie did. And okay, I just refreshed and I just got one more from Light Color Beauty. Are you heartbroken about the death of the hedgehog that you and GV adopted? Oh, she may say it's dead, but I'm sure it just learned to take care of itself and is doing fine and has grown its own strawberries and it's not dead, it's fine. What a great way to end this video. Okay, that's all. This is a really long video. I'm sorry. Goodbye.